Welcome everyone to the money clearing training. And I've just been talking to the guys here on the screen. I've got a beautiful faces I'm looking at. I know many of them, and I'm always thinking about you guys too. If you've ever worked with me, if I've ever done anything with you, you're kind of in my codes to wish you the best. Like, I sort of know what your work is in the world, and it's been witnessed in, and that's a spiritual law. Remember, it's two or more in thy name, or in the name of a higher source. And so when you find people that kind of get what you're meant to be doing in the world, and they get the vibe of you, that's a very powerful thing. And we come together sometimes to get our work witnessed in the world, for people to say, oh my goodness, when you do this, you're going to make such a big impact. It's going to change a lot of people's lives. So most of the people that I can see on the screen that I know already have got really big work in the world. And, sometimes it can get really, you can get really despondent about the money piece, because, you need to pay the bills. And you often see people in your field who are, cracking $1 million and all the rest of it. And so we want to get you back in your bodies. We want to get you back in your own unique design, because otherwise you can start to, one, copy people, which, isn't a great thing, because you're trying to be someone else. And therefore, when you're trying to be someone else, you kind of like, it's almost like you suck out of your body, out of your own energy field. And therefore, you can't receive the codes and the information and the inspiration that is what you're actually called to be and to do. So, for those of you that know that work with me, know I'm a bit of a goddie. So I believe, God has really got a plan for you, whether or not you believe it or not. You kind of know when you're in the right track, because you'll sort of feel really good about yourself. You'll feel this like bubbling frequency of joy. And that's when you kind of know that you're kind of in your life, really. You're really in your life. And to make money and to be in the codes of money, you need to be in your actual own life. Now, a lot of you will be getting coached and having different mentors and buying different programs, especially if you're entrepreneurial, and that's really good. It's part of your journey, part of your learning. But make sure there's the sacred part of you. And if you just want to just tap into it now, it's coming down through the top of your head, down through your spine, down through your spinal column, and into the ground. Now, in Chinese medicine, they talk about it being the Taiji pole, where they actually see it right at the center of the spine, this white pillar of light with the gold little spirals going around it. I mean, this is Chinese medicine. It's not even, religion or anything. So it is part of our DNA. And so we've kind of got to go to the core of ourselves and really kind of connect in and let the money flow in from that energy of really being in our own design. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the money archetypes. As I said, if you haven't done the money archetypes, doesn't matter. You just go and do it later. And you can watch this recording again. I'll send out the recording. You can watch it, or you can contact me if you can't find it, or I'll put it in the free group. You can go and watch it there and just remember what you are. There's plenty of these trainings I have everywhere. You'll see them. So let's get into it, and because this is how I'm going to ground you into like a sort of a spiritual code, if you like. So here we go. So this is the free money clearing and training. So we're going to do a clearing at the end, and we're going to sort of train you into, and why I do it that way is because your brain loves something to get its teeth into. So while your brain is, sort of thinking about all these things, I've already set an intention that anybody here today or anyone watching the recording will actually receive everything that they're able to receive at the moment, to really open up. And whether or not you start to feel different straight away, tomorrow, next week, my contribution is that there is, a softening into your next paradigm. So your energy is everything, especially when it comes to manifesting money. So we know that if you're not a vibrational match for money, if you're not vibrating at the frequency of something, then you can't go to the next level. So, we catch this in clients, where they kind of have, well, this is part of what we do really with the business energy part of it. We catch clients who are imagining that they could only manage 5 listings a month if they're a real estate, or they can only have 20 people in a coaching container. And what we can do is we can actually energetically increase the container so that naturally their spirit, their soul, the everything drops in, where suddenly they've actually got a capacity for more. And so people think they have to work harder to get to the next level. And sure, you might be a bit busier. Who knows? You might be less busy. There's no story around that. It could go either way. It's not set in stone that the more work, the more money you make, the more people you serve, the busier you'll be. That's actually a lie. It's like a lie from fear. It's an illusional energy that will keep you thinking, can't do more. So what we can do is we can stretch the container. And what I mean by the container is there's a part of you that feels into the energy of serving 300 people at once, or serving 20 listings. Maybe you end up, if you're in real estate, doing 50 because you have a team that magically joins you because you've been able to hold that bigger energetic container. Now, it's the same with money. So if you can't imagine ever getting over 10 grand a month or whatever you're at right now, or even if it's, people get stuck at $1 million, remember, it doesn't matter what level you are, it actually makes no difference in the spiritual. It's just us that down here that have given it all these meanings, what $10,000 means based on what's for sale, really, how much properties are. So, it's not stupid to think that, different money's got a different level of value. But when we're manifesting, we want to be beyond that paradigm. We want to be able to slide into new levels of money, like we know how to ice skate all of a sudden, and it's all fine. Yeah. So we're working in the quantum, we're working in the spiritual when we're manifesting. And just the very thing of manifesting means you're not doing anything for it and it's showing up, remember. So the very energy of manifesting is that you're into the imagining, you're into the energy of something, and therefore you're a vibrational match for it. So, those of you that have worked with me, we do unique brands. We find out what your unique brand is. So you're not copying off someone's lovely pink thing on Instagram. You actually know what your essence is. So when you're showing up, every time you go to a sale, every time you're coaching, whatever you're putting forward in the world is from your niche contribution. And that's all in your unique brand. We're doing money archetypes today. We're kind of touching into a little bit of the money shine energy and getting you into the manifesting codes. We do sales and success. Of course, we do coaching and business stuff, and we've got the business kinesiology, and we're going to use that at the end of this training to kind of use the codes of the kinesiology or the protocols to see if we can get a clearing for you as well. And of course, we've got the mastermind, and we do that every week. And every time we do any session ever, even in the group coaching, it's like people are asking strategy, and we're always stopping and clearing everything as we go, because there's always little hooks and cords and impressions and energy around things. We just clear it out. So it's just lighter, and we can just slip through to a new level really easily. Okay, so why I want to start with the money archetypes is you've got to start, I believe, anyway, just the way I coach and what I see works really well, is if you have an identity around money, or you have something that your brain can kind of grab onto when you're thinking about your strategies, or how you're going to call things in, or how you're going to settle, if you like, settle into yourself and accept yourself. I find the money archetypes just such a really quick, easy hack. And so, this is where we're going to start. So you have a DNA, you have your own unique design, and it's for money and business momentum. Now, for those of you that have worked with me with the brand and the money archetypes, when you get stuck, like a really easy way to think about it is you are your brand, whether you're an alchemist, humanitarian, right? And your business, how you make your money, or the energy, the personality of the business is the money, right? So you partner up with that. So you're going to get around with this beautiful soul of making a contribution with your niche contribution as your two brand. And your business has got the personality of romantic, celebrity, ruler. So you get to know the business, and you get to know how it likes to roll. how it likes to attract money, how it likes to show up in the world. It may even be more confident than you in some ways, and you don't get in the way of it. And so money can come through the business this way. So just put in the chat if that makes sense to you, if you're kind of getting an understanding of how that could work, how you kind of got mixed up in the two personalities, and how you can partner up together so you're never stuck. You can always ask the question, energy of my business or money energy, what would you have me do today? Money energy comes back, well, you are a ruler. Can we go back and can we monetize? Or we go to the back end of can we do all the follow-up? Can we train the team? Can we do that stuff? That's the ruler energy, the leader. So, you get to know how to do these in there. I just love them. I never get sick of them. So following other people's models for success can take you out of alignment. So you may have someone that you admire who's got completely different money archetypes than you, and you might spend 2 years trying to be like them, trying to follow the models, and you've missed out on a whole lot of money on the table because you didn't know who you were. So, what it does is, again, it takes you out of the mind. Like sometimes you can be in the mind about your business for years. And when you kind of drop back into yourself, I want to say in your body, like you actually feel like you're got your feet on the ground, you're having your breakfast, you're exercising, you're sleeping, you're brushing your teeth, and you actually feel that you're with yourself in your business all the time. It's not something you're going back to your desk to do, right? That's when you get that energy of being embodied. Like you feel like it's all working for you and you're just kind of on the conveyor belt, if you like. It's like it's all working for you. We call that flow, that's like that flow energy. And you need to really wire yourself for this with your own unique design. So let's keep going. And so your money archetypes are your unique keys to money and success. So let me just have a look. Someone's got to mute someone there. Okay, so your unique archetypes are, it's your unique keys to money and success. And they're going to really, if you really lean into them and come back to them, you're going to attract the perfect clients, opportunities, innovation, and inspiration. And so, it's really interesting. Like you could actually come back to them every day if you wanted to geek out on archetypes, because you could just look at, for those of you who work with me, you got the cards, you look down and think, the word freedom's jumping out from my card. That's my theme for the day. Like it could be a really good little alignment code for you to just kind of get some energy. Because remember, you can only manifest with energy and emotion. You can't manifest with the mind. You can't decide and work hard to make something happening. Manifesting is when you magically feel into something, you have an energy, you've got like an activation of your energetic field into the field, your energetics into the field, and then it starts to show up. So we need emotion for that. That's why a lot of people listen to like loud music and sing and dance. You got to get that energy up. So you could pick a word and decide to just geek out on it, activate it from what we go through today. So the more you're you, the more you connect with your unique success DNA, the more you're going to attract the right opportunities, manifesting money and flow with grace and ease. And this is what we want. Okay, so you need to rewire your brain for this money-making flow. So, I found this really interesting. I don't know if any of you guys are into human design. I was watching something yesterday. It's fascinating. I didn't know this, but we've got two types of people. One of them's a passive thinker and one's an active thinker. So I know that I'm a passive thinker. I can't have too much information. I don't read a hell of a lot. People say, have you read that book? And go, no, why? Because it's almost like part of my soul will get the essence of the book or something. If someone points out something in the book, or it's really in alignment for me to get really pointed out to read that book, I'll read that book, but I just don't go around filling myself up with information. And then there's people that do, and that's their brain. Like they really go and just feed themselves with every podcast, I don't listen to podcasts hardly even. I just listen to trainings of things that I've purchased because I know it's going to take me to the next level. So you've got to know your design again with this. Like, are you someone that needs to feed yourself with information? Or are you someone that needs to like tone back into the land, into the body, and rather, because you're taking in more codes than everyone else, you're actually taking in more information than everybody else. So you slip back and just let the things come in that you need. So, you know, I'm just realizing why I put this diagram up, because this works for me, because there's so much money mindset out there. There's so many strategies. Oh, law of attraction, do this, do that. You know, there's all these crazy things that a lot of the entrepreneurs are doing for manifesting. And for me, and, you know, I invite you to see if this works for you, you just think of the 3 money archetypes. You just do money archetype 1, money archetype 2, 3. When you're thinking about your business and you're calling in some new money and you want to go the next level with money. And then we've got your most, you know, best quality work, like, because you've already set the goal of the money and you're at peace about the fact that, yes, you can hold that energy of the money, you can imagine it, you can feel it. Or the things that you can't feel, you know, getting the 20 listings or the 200 people in your coaching container, whatever it is, you still hold the dream. You're still trying to get the frequency of it when you're walking around. You still try and hold it. And so you've got that and your work. So you just get right into your work. You do your best work. You share. You've been given this beautiful gifts and design. You've been given this beautiful personality. You've been given these incredible insights. You're all smart. You share it. Money archetype 1, money archetype 2, money archetype 3. Sharing of yourself. Share yourself. Because you've got the peace, you see, because remember, if we go back to the spine we had at the beginning, you've got the gold coming in the top, just feel it coming in now, making sure you've got it in the rod, straight down the middle of your spine, into the ground, right down into the ground. So you're grounded, so you've got things you can share. And that's when the money just starts to drop in. So if when you go and do this exercise and you find that you've got quite a few and one is in first or second place, you're only allowed 3. And, you know, I had someone the other day, they've got a $3 million company. They grew it. She's really clever, Australian entrepreneurial woman. And she had 4 in second place. And it didn't surprise me because she'd had so many hats to get the company to where it had to be. And now the next level for her is just to do the 2. Now she knows about the archetypes. And of course, she's going to have all these qualities behind her propelling her along. So do you just have 3? So your brain, it's not cluttered with, oh yeah, I could write it, I could do that book thing, or I could do that platform here, or I could do that. You go, oh no, I'm absolutely know what I'm doing. It's next the book. And so it can calm your system down, you calm your nervous system down. So when you calm down, you draw things to you. Okay, so yeah, simplicity equals success. So we're talking about really simplifying the brain so the soul can call things in and do the things that it needs to do. Okay, ruler. So if those of you, I'll just look in the chat, anybody a ruler, if you've done it. Ruler. Okay, so the ruler's money flow strategy is to innovate, achieve, and empower wealth with grace and ease. So again, if you're just going to geek out on the archetypes, you wake up, you're not sure what you're doing for the day, you've got your list, you might go and cross everything off the list that's not that, or doesn't feel an activation of that. Or you can ask if this is it's actually a spiritual contract too. It's a spiritual contract you've got with the God universe to create that for true fulfillment. You know, you might go, okay, you look at your list and go, this one feels like the one today. This is what I'm doing this week. So you're an inner empire builder. You illuminate the desire to achieve. You're an unstoppable, passionate force for big impact, significant income. So, you know, there's a really good shift around. A lot of people are trying to be famous, like they think to be famous and get a really big following and being an influencer, they're going to make money. And yeah, that's true. But sometimes there's a funny energy with that and things can go wrong and you can pick up a bit of funny energy around it. So what you can think about is, give me the big impact. I'm willing to show up. Give me the big impact. So if you're a ruler, you've got to do that. That's what you're meant to be doing. You've got to lift the game and, you know, pray, meditate, walk, allow the people to come in that are going to help you make the big impact. You're naturally ambitious and determined, and your business dominates most of your time and attention. which is fine. It's meant to. You're a business person if you've got the ruler. So you often never feel satisfied that you've made enough, and your business dominates most of your time and energy. You fear losing control of your power and identity, and you may hide feelings of not being good enough. The money flow mindset: I fulfill my destiny by achieving prosperity with grace and ease. So that's the energy for you. It's grace and ease, grace and ease, grace and ease. So if you're getting too much in a hustling energy, because you remember you're going to be working on your business a lot, you've got to just really calm it down. You've got to calm it down. You've got to do the soul work. You've got to do the healing work. You've got to find other energetic ways to get to a higher ground than just work, work, work. So they do really well when they do a little bit of the soul work with the business as well. So the accumulator, your flow strategy is to respect the power of money by investing to create freedom. You're an inner banker. You illuminate respect and appreciation. You live well below your means. You're highly attentive at managing money. You rarely carry debt and you plan well. So these guys are the ones that are really good with money. They're really looking after money. They're responsible. They're the responsible people with money. They're usually thinking about investments. The challenges are that spending even small amounts of money can make you anxious, feeling guilt or doubt about investing in yourself. You often don't trust the others when it comes to money, and you're judgmental about other people's spending. So when you see other people in abundance codes really appreciating their money, you can feel like, a bit judgmental of them, and then you can get a bit contracted. They're kind of like the Scrooge energy, the contracted energy around money. They can get too tight. There's another thing around the accumulator, and that is, I was just thought about a minute ago. I'll think of it in a minute. It might come up in a sec, but you've got to say yes to opportunities, because opportunities create wealth. So they're often really afraid to they're often more into saving to get ahead than kind of reaching out, investing forward. Yeah. So, that's what I was going to say about it. Often I've had people that see the thing about the brand archetypes, that's kind of your core essence, how you were born sort of thing, and what you're really meant to be doing in the world. But the money changes. So just like your business changes and grows and morphs and all the rest of it, so do your money archetypes change. It's quite good to have a look at them at least once a year, maybe every 6 months, especially if you're going through a lot of shifts and changes. But I found that, I've had people that have, for instance, been single mums, had to do it on their own, watch every penny, no one's coming to save them. And they've actually got the accumulator money archetype. And that's through their circumstance that they've actually ended up being in that sacred code. So when they get the balance of this, you actually get the lesson of these archetypes and you move to the next level. Is, they just know that it's okay to invest, to go forward, and they stretch that little bit more, and then they create more wealth and more freedoms for their family. So you often find that a lot of these archetypes are a consequence of what you've been up against too. So the connector's money flow strategy is to empower financial independence through the value of relationships. They're the inner relationship creator, and they illuminate faith and optimism. Faith keeps them mostly happy of financial stress. They're happy when someone else is making the decisions about money. They care more about those heart-to-heart connections. So, they feel a bit awkward even bringing up the money piece sometimes, because they're really about the relationship, and they'll talk for too long about things instead of getting to actually what the deal was. I had someone message me quite late last night about, they've got an opportunity to be, working a pretty prestigious platform as a coach. And then I find out that, they haven't rung back. So, we didn't talk about the money. Look, she feels like she's already got the job, but she didn't talk about the money. That is such a connector thing. So in her mind, she's got it. It's not quite sealed the deal. And plus, they haven't talked about the money. So that they'd do that. And so therefore, there she was, empowered late at night, feeling a little bit energetically off, because she hadn't planted the sword in the ground and said, oh yeah, this is the rate. Yeah, she'd planted the sword in the ground to say, hey, I can only do part-time, but she didn't want to mention the money. See how it works? So we just got to be like, oh yeah, well, this is what I'd like to get. It's just like pass the salt. So they're excellent at creating relationships and collaborations that bring new business. So they're really good at partnering up. If you're a connector and you're in real estate or an entrepreneur, you partner up with other businesses. If you're a coach, you get on people's summits, you connect. You use that strategy of networking as a really good marketing strategy. It's fantastic for you. Make sure you're really comfortable saying your prices and people just know what they are, so you don't have to worry about it. The challenges are you can blindly trust the handling of money to others. You're often taken advantage of due to your reluctance to be assertive about the financial deal. So remember, those of you in sales, remember the person with the strongest energy wins the sale. The person with the strongest frame wins the deal. So this is the manifesting energy. So can you imagine how delicious it would be as a connector to be in that real heart-to-heart energy, and you've got a really strong frame and a really strong mindset and really strong energy and intention about the money that you're making, and it's just coded into you. It's part of who you are. So you've got no problem going forward with that energy and still having that real connected energy at the same time. They can do really well with this. And also the other thing I've noticed about the connector is anyone they've ever known could potentially help them in business, because they've left a trail of usually quite a good trail of personal relationships everywhere they go. So they can avoid facing their money situation, hoping it will improve. So that we've got to watch that. That's a money block. So if I just work harder and I'm just nice and I'm just still being nice to people, they're going to think about me and they're going to look after me. Remember, no one's coming to save you. That means you're actually in a victim paradigm. So we're allowed to be really businessy. We're allowed to really ask for what we want. We're really allowed to strongly be a leader about what we're creating in our lives and what the money that we want to make. In fact, you think what's going to happen is perhaps that people won't like you, or they'll feel funny, or they'll be put off you because you've got a level of arrogance, but actually they feel really comfortable around you. So, the more comfortable you get with money, the more people feel comfortable around you, because it's straightforward, the money deal, and they feel really good about it. It's when it gets a bit blurry that everything can go haywire. So again, the connector, the more comfortable I get with money, the more I empower myself. So I love the connector. So the alchemist. So your money flow strategy is to transform ideas into financial success. The alchemist is the inner idealist. They illuminate positive change, and they're amazing at turning ideas into money. They're seen as transformational and daring, and can make a lot of money in innovative ways. Powerful champions of others, and rewarded well for this role. So, when you've got this money archetype, you can really get really creative about how you make money. The things that you offer to sell can be random and not like anybody else. Even if you've never seen it, you go, oh, I think I could make a program out of that. And if you're an entrepreneur, or you're in real estate, or any of the other people that seem to get attracted to this platform, you can really do different things with your marketing. You can approach your clients and your listings and things like that in a whole different way, because it's going to be the ideas that you give them that's going to activate the listing, the sale, the whole deal. It's the way you describe it. It's the transformational energy that you have around you when you're talking about the deal. So allow yourself to, your tongue to go, allow yourself to, your hands to move, allow yourself to get expressive, and just see, definitely if you, really want to go to the next level as a business person, you've got this archetype, I would definitely recommend journaling randomly what you could do to make money. And then just you watch, you can actually go and do it. You're the guys that can get away with it. We can't, the rest of us can't in the same way, right? You've got permission for that. So the challenges are that you have a love-hate relationship with money often, that can subconsciously sabotage, your wealth, with limiting beliefs around that money is the root of all evil. So, usually a lot of really altruistic people have this money code. And so they'll always have this cheesiness around it. They'll have a bit of cheesiness around selling. They won't want to do it. And when you just kind of step into that new spaceship, this new kind of level, it'll feel like, oh my goodness, I was like so stupid before. And no one even cares. And I thought they did. And I get to be this person who's really in the flow with money and really got a lot of ownership around money and my business and the money that I'm calling in, and I'm serving the world. So they can get obsessed with the unfair distribution of money in the world and therefore block it. And I often find that they get to a certain level of income and then they sort of take the foot off the pedal and go, that's enough. 20K months is enough. That's good. That's enough. That's good enough. We think, well, you could actually get more because you actually need to impact more people with these amazing ideas. And they'll slow it down. They'll keep slowing it down. I better take the foot off. I don't want to be seen as someone who's like, chasing money. It's not that. You're bringing ideas to the world. So, and you can get a bit impatient and annoyed that you even have to deal with money. It's like, oh my goodness, who cares about the money? They're the ones that say, I'm not doing this for the money. We go, book, money block, money leak. Yeah, because money's from the divine. So that means we're not being a good custodian. We're not sharing it. We're not looking after it. And they can rebel against creating money goals and habits. So the money flow mindset, the more I do well in the world, the more I can help others do good. I love that. That's my number one. I'm not even an alchemist money archetype, but to me, if you're, we've got to think about 100th monkey. You guys know the 100th monkey, like those monkeys that learned to do that tool in the middle of the jungle somewhere, and suddenly all over the world at that exact moment, all these other monkeys knew what to do. And so when you're really going through, getting out of this victim mentality that you've got to play small because there's other people that don't have things, and you really step into the prosperity and be a leader in prosperity and a sharer in prosperity and a contribution on the planet, you actually lift others. People you'll never meet in your whole life across the planet will suddenly feel like, I can do well in the world. And when I do well in the world, other people actually get a benefit. So, it's often that thing of being afraid of not being liked because you're wealthy. There's a lot of codes in that. Okay, so the Maverick. The Maverick money flow strategy is to balance extreme risk with financial security. So these are often the big entrepreneurial people too, winning and losing companies and things like that. They're the inner rebel with a cause, and they illuminate that risk is essential. They're highly creative with money. They turn it into a game they want to win. They've got a natural ability to understand complex money situations and transactions, and they pay great attention to money, and they're excellent at reading contracts and looking for clever ways to turn a situation or an opportunity. So, if you've got those codes, like if you do have the Maverick, just really trust yourself to kind of geek out on numbers and really go in and think, without losing yourself in it, just kind of play with it like it's a game. Well, if I actually shift that around there, that could actually work better there. So you've got to be a little bit disruptive. They often experience extreme highs and lows financially. They're easily attracted to shiny objects and get rich opportunities, distracting them from long-term plans. And they have this comfort level of taking extreme risks, and they get really addicted to it. And it can have a high cost on their relationships because, they've just lost the company again, or they haven't made a profit or they invested in this because they thought it was going to be good. And it's a little bit up and down. So with the Maverick, we get them to have a real stability energy and a real stability income. And then they've got the play money at the side rather than the other way around. Yeah. So sometimes the biggest risk is investing regularly in the tried and true. So they do have to really think outside the square. Otherwise, they're not in their sacred contract. They've got to, not just maybe sell. They might need to flip things, like, see what I mean? Like they might need to flip things around. So the celebrity, your flow strategy is to accumulate wealth while being admired and valued in the world. You're the inner big shot. You're illuminating impact and recognition. You're highly charismatic. You're a magnet for attracting 5-star people and experiences. You often have your star power hidden or under wraps. And I think that might be one of the main things about the celebrity is that it's not what you think. Like it's not the ones that are usually really showy, or they often have that. It's often the people that are meant to be leading, but they're shy or they're hiding. And so you've got to come out, you've got to be seen, you've got to show up and show people who you are. They're capable of taking the stage in a brilliant way, and they can create a lot of attention for themselves and others. So they often didn't project an image of wealth and success that might not match their bank accounts. They often look like they're wealthier than they are. They didn't likely receive approval or unconditional love that they craved as a child. And that can create a hole that they try to fill with money or image. So, this seems to be like the energy of the celebrity. They're either they didn't get they're not whole from childhood, like they were an empty tank, right? So they really get really showy online. Have you seen those people? A lot of the movie stars are like that, empty tanks all over the shop. We won't, we don't need to mention some of the disasters that we see on TV and all that kind of thing. And then we've got those people that, because they were wounded, because their parents didn't get that they were geniuses or that they were special, or because they had some sort of trauma, they didn't think they were that great. They might be dyslexic, they might have ADHD, whatever it was. They might have been the youngest. They haven't really shown, hey, here I am. And I'm actually a leader in my field. You can see me all over social media, and I've got a big list, say, for instance. Because of that, like, unconditional love, there's a little bit missing from inside. So, if we can fill that up, clear that energy, then they just show up. It's like, dum-de-da, here I are and here I am, and I'm here to help. And, I'm really good at what I do. And as you can see, I'm a bit of a celebrity. Yeah. So you're just really dum-de-da about it. Not a big, look at me. We don't have to go crazy on it. It's an internal shift. It's nothing to do with who's seeing you anyway. It's always internal. So they can value status and image over financial security, which makes it hard to get ahead financially. And they can spend money on appearances to avoid feeling empty or criticized, worrying what they're going to wear to the event, all that kind of stuff. So the money flow mindset is increasing how much I love, accept, and believe in myself is priceless. So, you just really drop in, you think, I'm fine. I'm just fine. And then you go from there, you improve from there. You might need to improve some of the way you're presenting yourself, some of the things, but you start with, I'm fine. And then we have the nurturer. So your money flow strategy is to care for others by empowering oneself. You're the inner sponsor. You illuminate caring and compassion. Your desire to be of service inspires you to be extremely generous, giving massive value, and your clients feel like you really care about them. They naturally build trust and they offer great support. They've got a high level of compassion and being there for others financially, emotionally, and with their time. They can, they're the like ones that self-sacrifice and abandon themselves, usually. So their challenges are they offer overgive for every penny they bring in. So when they get a full pay, or they get paid for what they're doing, or they get the commission that, they're meant to get, or they get the deal in business, they're kind of like, oh my goodness, I've got to give, they get really like agitate, they overgive, like, like they get it's like a money leak, like an energy leak, or they'll start giving it away. It's like, no, of course I get that much money. Of course they pay me for this much service. Of course. And you drop back into your body with it. So they can end up feeling drained, resentful, and suffer from feelings of martyrdom. They find it difficult to have boundaries, and they're often self-sacrifice their time and energy and money. And they're easily taken advantage of, and they find asking that what they want requires every ounce of courage. It's like they get really nervous when they're about to ask for a deal, or when the bit comes up about the commission, or, those sorts of things. So really, even if they're an entrepreneur and they're, employing team, they get all funny about the deal, about what the team's going to get. They feel like they've got to overgive to the new team member, resources, money, your time and attention. When you slip back and you know that you're holding that, we want to call it like an energetic container, you are the energy of nurturing. People will get what they need just by being in your energy. You're going to still do stuff, but there's going to be an air of the fact that you care and that you're generous without the self-sacrificing energy. So that's something you get to learn about your own energy field and how you're expressing yourself in the world. So the money flow mindset is creating clear money boundaries. It's a powerful way to demonstrate my caring. So it's also clear time boundaries, really clear calendar. Someone wants to chat to you, put them on the calendar. Don't just say hi, and then you've just done an hour and a half and you're meant to be doing something else. give them a calendar link, give them a 20-minute slot. So they know in their mind that it's a 20-minute slot if you're a busy entrepreneur. See what I mean? So that's how you can do it. Just do calls on Mondays when you have the rest of the time to focus on something else. So it's not just money boundaries. It's not just giving all your money to your kids, or your ex or something. It's about really how you carry yourself in the world. Like you're precious because you're so generous, because you carry the codes. Really, if I want to get super uber spiritual about it and almost end up in tears, the nurturer carries the codes for the world on compassion in many ways. They're the ones that really carry this they illuminate this compassion, and we learn from being around them. I've just got so much time for the nurturer. They're changing the world just from being themselves, just these kind, humble people. And so you've got to really go, okay, this is me. I'm actually such a gift to the world because I'm coded to be so naturally generous and compassionate. I'm just going to put some boundaries around it. And I know that whatever time someone spends with me or whatever I give them, it's going to be more than enough. And you can code yourself with that. You can create that energy and tension. You can manifest that to happen in your lives. Suddenly a listing that took an hour and a half and going on to 3 now takes 40 minutes. And you even had a cup of tea and everyone left feeling like, oh my God, I love that guy. He's amazing. See, so you just always feel like, it's almost like you feel like you've got to drain yourself to make the difference, and you don't. So big shout out to the nurturers in the room. Okay, the romantics. So the romantics' money-making strategy is to create financial security while living life to the fullest, with very elongated champagne glasses by the looks. Okay, so the romantic is the inner hedonist. They illuminate enjoying the pleasures of life, inspiring others with their lifestyle and energy. Their business has an energy of intimacy and sensuality, and they love having a feeling of luxury and freedom, and they attract others who are aspiring to live life and succeed at the fullest. So, the romantic money archetype, and remember we talked about the beginning of the code. If you've got the romantic money archetype, that means the energy of your business, if it was a person, which I like to relate to them as like their own beings, right? So when I'm working with you now, I'm kind of showing up, doing my best to help you, but really it's the energy of the business that's been created around this work that's feeding into you guys, which in my intention that it's connected to God and source, is feeding into you guys everything that you need or what you could be getting right now. And so it's the same with you. So if you've got the romantic, your business has got this energy and it wants a sensuality. It wants to be a little bit more connected to the clients. It wants to feel the fact that there is that bunch of flowers at the end of the deal, or that there's that connected conversation that feels very intimate and very close. And you can see it's a different energy to the ruler. That's like the leader, like the boss energy. So allow your business to express that. Get out of the way of that. You can journal on it. You can daydream on it. You can go for a walk and ask questions about it. What needs to come through next? So the challenges are, you often spend money because you feel like you deserve it. You resist making money changes, even if you know it will benefit you. So they can be a bit spendy. You shrug off your money habits, telling yourself that you're not good with money, and believe money is to be enjoyed and dislike even being told no by themselves. So you need to have some hacks with spending money if you're a romantic, because they won't want a budget. They won't want a budget. And so you're going to feel like a failure if you do a budget and the budget didn't work. So you can have like a limit or a container. We have like a bank account that's got a container of money that you get to spend on whatever. I know in Australia, we've got the Barefoot Investor, and he's, is a really well sorted, like it's a bestseller. He's talking to the government, like he's like the guy. And it's about everyone being able to create wealth. And he's got, I think it's called the Mojo account or something like that, where you actually just have an account that you get, your spouse isn't allowed to even comment on what you're spending it on, and you just get to blow the money. So if you're a romantic, you need that account that you get to blow, and then when it's blown, it's gone. And then you put it back in, and obviously you're going to have your other savings and investments, but it's like the one that you get to blow gee, I like that watch. I'm just getting it straight away. No, I'm not waiting to save it. I'm not putting on, no, I'm getting it now. That's what they're like. So, you know, you've got to play with your code with that. Otherwise, you're going to feel a bit guilty. So they can feel a bit guilty because they'll overspend all at once. So you'd have a hack for that. You set up a container for that. So the money flow mindset is creating and embracing a secure financial future is a way I can always enjoy the best of life. So one of the codes for the romantic is spend the whole day without spending any money at all and still feel like you're living life to the fullest. What would you do? Oh, we'd go picnic at the beach, whatever. My sunglasses I've already got, listen to music, don't know, have a girlfriend, whatever. That would be a way that you do that without spending any money. Be with the family, take the bikes to the park. So you now and then you'll just do stuff like that costs nothing, just to remind yourself that to be in pleasure, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Even though they do like to spend money, you practice that. That's a practice that you can do periodically just to wipe the slate clean and come back to yourself. Again, for my brain, and if you're an active brain, you might need more than this, but for me, I just like 3 money archetypes and my best quality work. That's all I like. So that if you just concentrate on that, if you're thinking about your business, how to make money, that's what you can do. So your energy is everything when it comes to money flow. And, you know, I really like the money archetypes, just so you know what to concentrate on, because otherwise you're picking up on a lot of information that may not be in alignment with you. It helps you kind of put your gaze back down towards yourself and really think about what you could be doing now to create the money. So let's do a little activation, a little energy clearing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share of the screen. And so you're going to pop back on. So get ready to pop back on the screen. If you want to turn off your video, you can. And we'll pop back on. So just, I can see you put some questions in there. So I might come to those at the end. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do some energy clearing on this. So some of you will know what you are, some of you won't, and that won't matter for this part that we're doing. And so what I'm going to do, we're going to use the kinesiology. So when I do the kinesiology work, I've been a kinesiologist, I think, for 16 years. It was my original modality. I'm a kinesiologist, a holistic kinesiologist. So we used to work with health. And of course, when we work with health, we work with soul, we work with the whole being and the whole person. And now we do it with business. So now we kind of bring that wholeness to you in business, and I can use the same techniques to tap into your energy, into what, you know, could be blocking you right now. So I'm just going to open up the kinesiology and off we go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to clear some emotions, and I'm just going to use the kinesiology to find out what we're doing today. So this is really, you know, for you guys here and for anyone who's watching the recording, because in the quantum field, because I'm working in the quantum field when I'm working in kinesiology, I'm working in the holograms, everything's a hologram. It will also be in future time for the people that watch this, you know, at a later date, it'll still be relevant. So, oh my goodness, this is an amazing energy when you think about that, how that works. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do, and I thought about this today when I was walking the beach and really starting to tune into what you guys were needing today. And I think what we need to remember is you not only do you get to create the money, and the money's hard sometimes because I get it, you know, it takes a while to sometimes get to that higher income goal and things happen. But what you can absolutely start with is you can really start with manifesting the people that you're going to work with getting results. So you can start with that. So I think that what that's going to do is it's going to open up your heart. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine the people that you are yet to work with and your current clients, like just getting amazing results, like getting what they need. I'm getting a feeling of that. And taking a breath into that. Okay, and let me just see what's there. So we're going to go for an emotion to clear. We've got a false pride. Okay, so put in the chat if anything's coming forward for you around false pride. And I think what I'm picking up is it's like when we get false pride, it doesn't just mean ego, but it can be that you don't, you know what it is? I'm actually getting, you don't actually realize that you can do that on some level. Like I know some of you do, but on as a whole, you don't realize that you're actually allowed to do that. And it's not a form of ego. It is a spiritual code, that it's a gift from God. If you're in your unique design, if you're doing what you were designed to do, if you're following your calling, that means you've been given the gift of already seeing your calling working in the world, of seeing the design that you are absolutely made to, having an impact on others and healing, helping, and transforming them. So I think we're called to start here. So it is actually a false pride to think, to second guess that, because that's an ego, because you think you're bigger than God then. You'll think you're smarter in that way because you hadn't, because then you've got your mind in it. Yeah, we get out of the mind and we go, oh my God. And so, it's such a powerful code to you. It's like, oh, you just go, oh my God, these people. And it's quite a selfless energy. So I want that, it could be a good energy to go into on this clearing. This really, it's not about you energy. It's like, oh my God, everybody who comes towards me, everybody who works with me just gets amazing results, amazing miracles. Of course, because I'm praying for them, because the container that I've created, which is me, which is precious, has enough of a frequency that they will actually be helped by that work that I've put out in the world, even if you're not even delivering it. Yeah, even if it's just something really simple that you're doing, even if you're a mum and you're just working at the school canteen for a while because you're just in that stage of your life because you've got little kids, same thing. You're still designed to make an impact. You're still designed we're all designed to evolve humanity. That's what we're designed for. And so we've got to activate our codes for that. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine if you've got any clients at the moment, or you're looking for more business, or you're launching something, and just whisper in, and you can actually say out loud, please bring these people everything they need and more through my gifts, through my talents, through my contribution, through my work. Take a big breath into that. Okay, and then the next emotion that we've got to clear is creative insecurity. Creative insecurity. So in a way, I think this is so cool. And, of course, I've set the intention that you'll get it. We're really getting installing this real manifesting code right into the third eye, all the way down and down the spine, that you actually have the creative ability to do this. You really do. And so that's what so we never know what the money clearing is going to be till after we can write out. So this is what we're doing today after we've already done it. So we're clearing this creative insecurity. So let's look for the opposite of that. Okay, so instead of false pride, I've got the word spirituality. Visualizing, couldn't be, it's perfect, isn't it, so far? Spirituality, visualizing, courageous, wealth. Okay, that's our goal. So we're going to open up and we do a healing on that. So I want you to say, my goal for this balance is spirituality, visualizing, courageous wealth. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine the goal after healing, this kind of new spirituality, this new activation and transmission that of course, you can imagine that the people that you work with now, in the past, in the future, just get incredibly blessed. Basically, that's what we're talking about. You are the blessing that blesses others. So I really want you to get the energy of that. And then I want you to bunch up your fingers, 5 fingers like so, and looking to the front of the room. We're just going to slowly bring the fingers round. And what we're doing here is we're bringing out stuff at the back of the brain, just like activating the nervous system and anything that your eyes might go funny, see or go funny when you get in certain places. And that's because there's stress in those areas. So just make a note too, like, well, I didn't like looking over there. I felt, oh, you know, I've had people just cry when you just put the fingers there, they start to cry because it activates a trauma or a part in the brain. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, we've got a soul integration. Yay. Okay, so we're going to call your souls back into the room. Here we go. We're back. Time to come back. Let's find my soul integration book. Yeah, so we've got to call you back. You're not all here. And you know, you got to be all in your life. You got to be in your life for the life to work. Yeah, you got to be digesting your food to get the nutrients. Same, you got to be in your life. You got to be actually in your life, and you can't describe it. It's just something you'll just know when you're in and when you're not. I can't even put a word to it. It's a mystery how to stay in your life. It's a mystery on how to stay in your body. Even exercise won't keep you on your body. And so you've got to be in your life, responding into the center of your life, into the center of your center. And so we're going to call you back in. It's beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful, you know, protocols that we use. And I'm just going to look at why we're doing it. But I'm just going to read this, but it says, sometimes people, no matter what they do, what changes they try to make, they never get healed, or their health improves for a while, or maybe their money. And then they often wander from healer to healer or coach to coach, always searching for something missing, but never finding it. Or they can get to addictive behaviors like buying the next thing, you know, reading that next book, listening to that next thing, in the hope that they're going to get to the next level. And one of the reasons is that the only part of you observes with your mind, and you don't connect it with the emotion. So you need the mind and the emotion at the same time. That's sort of when you're home. That's when your soul's back. So when you're actually, you know, that thing when we're all doing it, we're all waking up all the time, aren't we, at different levels? And we go, I don't know what I've been doing lately, but I just feel alive today, and I've got the ideas, and I'm in flow, and off we go. And that's what we're talking about. So what's happened here? Let's have a look. Okay, so there's a soul contract to clear. So the soul contracts, so, you know, obviously you're all going to have these different soul contracts. And a soul contract is sort of like, how would I explain a soul contract easily? So a soul contract is when you've kind of enmeshed yourself with another person's journey, really. And what we're asking you to do today is kind of just unmesh yourself from another person's journey and come back to God's source, your own journey, your own codes, your own design, and get activated back up again into what you're really meant to be doing. It's the most exquisite thing when you realize that it's really you and source, and everything else is just all around, just more and more like the cherry on top, rather than you're tracking with someone and you're missing the connection to something that's a bit higher. Whether it needs to do with money. Remember, there's a money training. So any soul contracts that you've got on money, I mean, if we worked with you all one-on-one, we'd already, just with one person, we're going to find a whole lot. So we're having the intention today that the soul contracts that your soul and your higher self and God and your guides and all that know is ready to let go today is going to be let go, and we're going to unhook it from you today, so we can call you back and see you a bit lighter and you know what you're doing. Yep. So here we go. So it's a multi-dimensional soul integration, access soul gateway. So search data and memory banks on memory banks on every dimension of everyone's being, and identify fragments of their soul. So we're calling in your soul back. You're like little chips of glass everywhere. We're calling it back to one piece. So confirm optimum fragments of soul identified. So I want you to say, my goal for this balance is to retrieve, welcome home, and integrate the fragmented parts of my soul. I, and then your names, am willing to retrieve, bring home and integrate the optimum number of fragments of my soul during this balance. It is safe for me to retrieve, bring home, and integrate the optimum number of fragments of my soul. I, and then your names, now give permission to retrieve the fragmented parts of my soul. So take a big breath into that. So retrieve fragments of everybody's soul and anyone watching the recording. Confirm optimum fragments of soul retrieved. I, and then your names, now thank those fragmented parts of my soul for protecting my survival. And I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine the goal after healing. Like, what if you were just whole now, healed and whole now, and everything that you've been doing so far was just for your highest good, and you could just really land in today with this beautiful sacred money archetypes to work through, just for fun. Do money like that, just for fun, and really like lighten the whole energy of it up. And then I want you to say, I, and then your names, now release all the stressful negative memories that caused my soul to fracture. And then I want you to bunch up your fingers like so, and the eyes to the front. We'll just stack that in. So your body's kind of going, well, hang on, what about, And we're just picking it up. So we go, okay, yeah, we know that you're in the back of the brain. We know that you're somewhere in the nervous system, in the primitive brain, and we're just picking it up so the healing can go to that. Okay, I love this bit. It's pretty woo-woo, but I just love it. So I want you to say, in the name of the light, I, and then your names, ask that all beings, and that's those soul contracts, who believe that their survival depends on my life force, release the fragments of my soul that they hold and be gently taken into the light. And then just point up, go back to source things. Don't hold on to me, connect to your own level of source. So what happens is things grab onto you, especially if you've got a bit of light, like you guys have all got big work in the world. It's like you're like Gulliver's Travels, you're pulling all these things like, hang on, you guys connect to source. I am too, and let's get on with it. Yeah, that's what we do. So, if you're a team leader, we've got team leaders in here. You can right now imagine all the team connecting to source and not pulling on your energy. You've got clients, a lot of clients, imagine them all connecting to source right in this moment. Anyone that you work with, boom, they're all connected. Listings, you go to houses, you can connect houses to source, land to source, animals to source. And you just decide. It's quite amazing how easy it is, isn't it? So integrate fragments of soul. Okay, I have a message from soul, from your souls, your higher self. I'll just do one for everyone. It says it's okay to take time to have fun, to play and have fun each day. So it's a little bit the energy we just got a few seconds ago, wasn't it? It's like, oh, just like, yeah, whatever. What about if it's like a whatever? Like if you're trying really hard and you're not getting results, it's really fun to just go, I give up. I give up then. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it then. I'm not doing the business, not doing it. And you watch, it'll go, yes, you are. Come on then. Then you'll go again. It's like sometimes you're allowed to just drop the bundle. and just start again. And just start and go, oh, then you're back. Yeah. So just go and have some fun. That's what you've been told to do. That's what's coming through. So projected soul status after integration, aura integrity. So, you know, I've got my little signature thing that we do. We put the hand on the forehead and we tap straight down the midline like you've got a zip, like a hoodie. And I want you to think about, do you know who the soul contract is? Is it just your clients? Is it a parent? Is it an ex? Is it something ancient that you don't know, but you just feel like you haven't been coded to make money and you haven't got enough power to decide that the people that work with you get results? There's a lot of prosperity around what you're bringing to the world. Have you just not ever got to that level in your soul evolution before? And just tapping down and breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and out. I'm just going to do a thing on the pineal gland, actually. Okay, let's clean up the pineal gland, because the pineal gland is going to be, you know, deciding that people get results. It's activated for that. It's already coded for that. It's in bliss around that. It's in purity around that. It's relaxed to receive help from above around that. So you don't have to stress. No. So just tap around your ears. Every cell of every structure in my pineal gland is balanced. Every cell and every structure in my pineal gland is balanced. Remember, the pineal gland is third eye. I safely release all karmic pineal gland conditions. So that's interesting, isn't it? I safely release all karmic pineal gland conditions. So that feels big. So, you know, again, the kinesiology takes us from the people in the room. So there must be some pretty evolved people on this call, because we're going into some pretty different layers here. So we're going into deeper layers. And so that's really interesting to me. So, you know, I'm not an expert at this, but I sort of am, you know. And, you know, in the evolution of you, you may have done some bad stuff, you know, around what you created with your pineal gland, with your third eye. You might have wished for bad things, or things that were actually turned out not in your highest good or the highest good of others. And we're asking you to connect to money in a whole new way, where you're connected to the divine, where you're connected to the highest good of all. And therefore, I think that's why that came up around the karmic conditions of the pineal gland, because it's like afraid now, or it doesn't want to, or it's got a smack before, or things went dark before and we want to keep it in the light. Does that make sense? So I just want to do a clearing on the pineal gland. And what we've got here, it's a religious imprinting. So we're just going to clear a religious imprinting from the pineal gland. And so what that could mean is there could have been like something in the past, it could be in the family line, where to be really in your self-expression and really believing that you could partner with God and co-create with God these beautiful things in the world kind of wasn't taught. It is, if you really dig in, it's all there, but it's like you're not enough kind of an energy. We really want to activate your full potential, you know, your purity and your full potential, that that you get to choose what you create with your pineal gland, with your third eye. That's the gift from God. You get free will, and then you're gonna, God willing, you're gonna choose things that are for the highest good of all. And what I love about this is you're going to be then therefore manifesting money with full activation, full purity, going for it, knowing that you're really in alignment with your higher self. And you'll get the little slap, or so you'll get you'll get the knock when you're not, you'll get the tap on the shoulder. So you don't need to worry. You can just go for it. Yeah. And don't rather not pull back, go forward and go, oh, I was a bit off there, I'm going to pull in a bit there. Yeah. But you got to move forward to know. You can't be frozen. Does that make sense? So anywhere and everywhere where you may have religious imprinting on your pineal gland, preventing you from, when we go to the goal, which is, spirituality. See how it's all come together, the kinesiology. Now we're on the pineal gland. Spirituality, visualizing, courageous wealth. Remember, we're asking you to be courageous, like going for it, big impact. Yeah. Are you willing to let that go? So anywhere and everywhere where you have religious programming in your pineal gland, around your visualizing, around your money, are you willing to let that go? So we ask for this to be erased and deleted across all planes, times, levels of consciousness, levels of existence. In the name of God, breathing in love, grace, and forgiveness, and breathing out all the energies that no longer serve. Breathing in love, grace, and forgiveness, and breathing out all the energies that no longer serve. Okay, so I want you to say, it is safe for me to make a lot of money. It is safe for others for me to make a lot of money. My opinions are more important than others' illusions. I completely release any focus on the illusions of religious imprinting. I completely release the belief in the illusion of religious imprinting. I completely release participation in making others' illusions more important than my own reality. I am free to integrate my inner child. And just put your hand on your heart, that little girl or boy, gee, they went through so much, all that. And it's like integrated in. So you can stay in the adult with business. We stay in the adult with business, yeah. Breathing in, breathing out any rejection, energy you've got, any abandonment energy about money, any people not signing up, any of that stuff, that's inner child stuff. Breathing in, breathing out any failure energy, like a little girl not getting her assignment proper, all that stuff out the door. You're an adult, you get to reset, you get to decide, you get to choose. You're the boss now, you're the adult. Yeah. I am ready, willing, and able and committed to making a lot of money from this moment forward and into infinity, or until I choose something else. Okay, take a big breath into that. Okay, and we'll just tap that out of the nerve. Like this little technique just taps things out of the nervous system and just makes sure it moves around the meridians and your body gets rid of any kind of cellular toxin that can come up, because everything's got an energy and therefore it's got a residue. So we just tap that through so your body knows, yep, got that now, cleared my allergy to that. And also when we've got the hand on the front, it's telling the rational brain to process it intellectually, like, oh yeah, I've got a place for that. I know where that book goes on the shelf. I need to pick it up. I know it's there, but it goes on that shelf. So that's the title, it's over there. It's not part or like on top of you. Yeah. Okay, so now that you have retrieved the fragmented parts of your soul and those parts of your soul are reintegrated, I want you to go inside and imagine what your life is going to be like. So just see if you look different, sound different, feel different. So I, and then your names, now choose to welcome and lovingly embrace the fragmented parts of my soul back into my life. And I now choose spirituality, visualizing courage and wealth. I gratefully accept and retain the benefits of this balance. I now know and believe that once this balance is fully integrated, the fragmented parts of my soul will have come home and be part of me again. And I now know and believe I have spirituality, visualizing, courageous wealth. Okay, so that was our clearing, and let's have another look at this, and I'll go through, I'll also turn off the recording shortly and go through your questions too. So before we do that, if you haven't got your money archetype assessment, if you haven't done it, go and get it from the website, just jeancardwell.com.au, money assessment. And there's a little PDF on there, and you can get some pretty good ideas about, you know, your best activation of your sacred strengths. For those of you who you've probably seen in my emails, I've got Money Shine coming up starting next Thursday, Friday. I totally recommend Money Shine. If you've done Money Shine, just do it again. You get it for half price. It's a no-brainer. I'd just stay in the energy of Money Shine. 6 weeks of full-on workshopping, similar to what we did today, but even layer after layer. We just do layer after layer. And there's activations in that, like we're just wanting you guys to get the big activation. So we're doing the invisible blocks, wrong mindset, unconscious scarcity thinking, trauma. We clear a lot of the trauma, the childhood wound stuff around money. We get into working out the strategies that are best for you. You know, with the money archetypes, there's just ways things start to drop in. And of course, the disconnection thing from God, from source, you know, from life itself, we kind of get you back into the flow of yourself and what you can create. So that's the Money Shine. So take a note of that. Please make it, you know, if you're going to come in soon. There's a bonus with Money Shine too. It's not for the people that are repeating, but for the new people, there's the money mastermind. There's the mastermind every week. So you get 2 sessions a week. So that's that's just like such an activation for 6 weeks. So you'll be just like different. You'll be so different at the end of those 6 weeks. So that's happening there. And so thank you so much for coming. It's really lovely seeing all your faces. I'm just going to turn off the recording. And if you've got any questions, you can ask me. I'll just look at some of the questions in the chat. Thank you for joining me.